Okay, this is part 3 of 4, as promised, of the responses to Mr. Dark. Patterson-Gimlin hoax. I stated that I had debunked the Patterson-Gimlin hoax and I did so easily. Oh!
So certain are you?
For starters, the first scene of the full film gives the answer. We are told that only 2 people were present when the film was made, Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin. This cannot be the truth when the first scene of the full film is viewed, however. In this scene, we see Roger Patterson on horseback come over a hill. He is immediately followed by another gentleman who is presumably Bob Gimlin. The problem with this scene is that there is no breakaway. There is no cut sequence. We have Roger coming over the hill, followed by another gentleman on horseback. That's because the segments were spliced together. That has happened, by the way. The segments were spliced together. The segments that were shot in Yakima were spliced with the stuff shot in California. Now are you listening to what I am saying? Think about it. A 1960s camera that had to be manually operated records both men clearing the hill. No breakaway, no cut sequence. The camera even shifts to the left and zooms. What this means is that there are 3 people present in the film is establishing this for us, so it is a certainty. No, it's a certainty that the film was spliced. We have 2 people in frame and 1 person behind the camera operating it. So without a doubt, there were at least 3 people involved in this film, as the very first scene shows us. The excuse that is weakly circulated about this scene to try and explain it is that it was recorded at a different time and was not part of that footage. Yeah, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. However, it is part of the real in question, and listening to the hoaxers try to make up excuses to cover up their lies and confuse people is not what we do. They are hoaxers, frauds, trying to maintain a lie, so their excuses do not remove what is clearly the truth because the film doesn't lie. No, film does not lie. Let's see. The camera does not lie. What was that Chris Murphy said? It deceives. Sure, it was all filmed over a matter of days. Who knows how many times our costume creature had to walk across that sandbar to get things just right. I'm sure it took a while. Now, this person seems to think that this is the same as this. Well, again, there is no absolute evidence of this being Bluff Creek. This, okay, I will concede this is Bluff Creek. This is Yakima. The scenes probably look very similar. Couldn't this guy conceive that there may be similar terrain close to Yakima to what's at Bluff Creek? The purpose of this photo is to debunk the claims made by the gentleman who told me that the supposed Yakima expedition footage couldn't possibly be in Bluff Creek. He claimed the landscape was indicative of Yakima, not at all Bluff Creek, because he went there and stuff. He said it had to be Yakima. I call BS. No. Yeah, well, you couldn't take the guy's word for it? This is all scenery around the Bluff Creek watershed. It is land that would have been traveled through to reach the filming site. Now, I am not saying that these are the locations of the hill in the film, but I am saying that the claims it couldn't have been filmed in Bluff Creek are BS. You just got through saying that these are not. You just got through saying you're not saying these are the locations of the hill in the film, but yet you turn around and you say that it could not have been filmed in Bluff Creek. So which is it? This is in the fall. Even you can catch a glimpse of the trees. The photograph with everyone in it between the trees is their group photo from around the film site. And that would be this photo in question. But how do you know this was filmed in Bluff Creek, number 1? Number 2, how do you know it was filmed in the fall? You can't determine that just from that photograph. Is their group photo from around the film site. This was one expedition that was all filmed in a 24 to 48 hour period. All these people in the group photo are the ones who are there to make the hoax possible. This was all one wide location. It was all filmed in fall. The skeptics are just as nutty as the believers when it comes to the Patterson-Gimlin hoax. Both sides are out of their minds, and the most hilarious thing about it all is that whenever someone discovers something, they run to Bob Gimlin or one of the other hoaxers and ask them questions about it. Then, based on what Bob Gimlin says, which he leads them away from the truth to maintain the hoax. So, based on what Gimlin says, is what these lunatics go by. But he is a hoaxer. Ha 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 ha. So he leads them chasing their tails like morons. It is actually pretty funny stuff. No, I think the joke is you, pal. You're the joke. No matter how you try to argue or debate this, however, it will not alter the fact that this still reveals that 3 or more people are involved in the overall film, which is not the story we are told, and does not fit anything in the history of the film or the timeline. It means that there is a deception without a doubt. We cannot even argue whether or not it is true or false because it is all captured right there on celluloid film for us to watch over and over, and no amount of arguing is going to change the fact that 3 or more people are involved. Except, again, you're taking 2 completely separate films which were spliced together, and you're making this claim. You're basing this on 2 separate films. Again, even Greg Long and Bob Hieronymus have said that this picture was taken about 5 months before the Patterson-Gimlin film, and that this footage was taken sometime in the spring of 1967. So again, you are wrong. The second problem is that when the film is stabilized, you can clearly see prosthetic footwear being worn up until she steps behind the shrubbery that hides the feet. Now, how do you know this is prosthetic footwear? He is walking like a person would when wearing such prosthetic feet, and all the talk about walking gait analysis goes out the window when you see the stabilized film of the prosthetic feet. Yes, they made toes on them back then. The technology was there and it was done. The PG Bigfoot looks and moves like a person in a suit, and the footwear seals this. The way the suit comes down at the ankles and spreads out just below looks like a suit with prosthetic wear looks. It's also very clear that the camera was deliberately shaky, which was brilliantly used as cover for the suit. Once all the shake is removed, the film is much less impressive, obviously, as I am pointing out. Well, no, I would say it's more impressive. I would counter that it's much more impressive. The third problem was spread by an FX artist named Bill Munns. In the Munns report, Munns touts himself as a professional in the FX industry and states that they didn't have the suit technology to make such a suit at that point in time. This is a lie. Well, no, it's not a lie. No, they did not have the technology. Did they have stretch fur? No. Could they make a suit that would show such perfect musculature? No. Look at the calf muscle, how it contracts as she takes a step. And she walks with her feet at an angle which would be impossible for a human to replicate unless that human practiced it. And even then, it's really not very practical. They actually did have the technology. The pad and hair techniques were used by Chambers. Well, that's just the same thing, the same stuff he's been arguing. Once the film was stabilized, you can really see the suit techniques. I wrote all about this in other articles, which you can read if you wish. Bottom line, Munns is completely wrong about the suit technology that was available at the time, and Munns only has 2 B-movie credits to his name, which were in the 1980s. No, he also worked on a few movies in the 70s, including something called Blackenstein, in which he created Frankenstein's monster-type makeup for an African-American actor. Bill Munns is not the professional he makes himself out to be. Every single claim he makes about the film is directly opposed by scores of other FX artists with award-winning credits such as American Werewolf in London, Star Wars, Gorillas in the Mist, etc. And again, I've pointed this out, and I will continue to point this out, and Bill himself pointed out that if those individuals who were, award-winning and were behind the effects for all those movies were to say that they didn't know how that could have been made, referring to the Patterson-Gimlin film, they'd be out of a job. So they had to toe the line and say, "Oh, it was a hoax, and I know how it was made." That didn't fool me. I could figure it out every time. So Munz is a problem and has committed other inferior infractions in the case, as we will see. Yet Munz brags about making a future Oscar-worthy documentary to the masses in the near future to show the world Bigfoot is real. As we will soon see, his claims are not based in reality. As a result, we need to look at the source to keep things in perspective. The fourth problem is that the film has not been properly analyzed or restored by real professional celluloid film restoration technicians. And what difference would that make? Bill Munn's analysis was sound. So was M.K. Davis's. So was Chris Murphy's. So was Jeff Meldrum's. Grover Krantz. So was Jurgen Konzak's, who wasn't even a Bigfoot guy. Dmitry Donskoy, not a Bigfoot guy. You see, a major and highly significant thing that pseudoscience leaves out is that old celluloid films, such as the very aged Patterson-Gimlin films, suffer from decaying film and image artifacts, aging chemical interactions, dirt, etc. In the documentary, he's referring to American Paranormal Bigfoot, where Munz obtains a first-generation copy of the film. He sits in the Patterson living room, digitizing the film frame by frame like he is a real professional. He even gets amazed when he sees what appears to be a moving mouth in one frame. This moving mouth, which is very obviously a film artifact to anyone versed in celluloid film restoration techniques, is so obviously an artifact, and it is hysterically revealing that Munz is dishonest about his real experience. Well, my question would be, Mr. Dark, are you versed in celluloid film restoration techniques? Oh, do tell if you are. If he were truly experienced, he would have recognized this right away. He would have also recognized the so-called bulging leg muscle and muscle movement as being film artifacts. He has said that about the bulging leg muscle. He also said that the muscle movement was actually adipose tissue. In other words, fatty tissue. He has said that. Because winter was coming up, the creature was storing up winter fat, and probably growing a thicker coat so she could survive the harsh winters that may be coming to Northern California. If Munz were really and truly experienced, he wouldn't be sitting there digitizing film artifacts and all frame by frame, but would have taken it to a film restoration professional. Well, and why would he do that? This happens all the time in those old films, and it's no secret that film restoration technicians have to go in and clean up, preserve, and refurbish these old films to save them. Well, I mean, much like what Lucasfilm did for the original Star Wars trilogy. They went back and they digitally restored all those original films. That did happen. But would it really make much of a difference with the Patterson-Gimlin film? I don't think so. What was originally a shadow can appear to be a bulging leg muscle. Again, Bill Munz never said that was a bulging leg muscle. He says that's a film artifact. What looks like a moving mouth is a piece of debris on the film, etc. For this reason, the film should not be analyzed by armchair crackpot theorists. It should not have been digitized in the faulty and unprofessional manner Munz used. It should have been taken to real professional film restoration technicians. And why would he have done that? Well, you don't trust his skills? His skills aren't good enough to be able to, restore the film, digitize it? Oh, I guess you're not going to take his word for it. The guy knows what he's doing. Oh, and by the way, Bill Munz was not a Bigfoot guy before he started examining the film. The fifth problem was the Kodachrome film thing. You probably saw it in my last video. Yeah, the whole Kodachrome thing, yeah. The Patterson-Gimlin film was the holy grail of Bigfoot research, and it's a fake, without a doubt, case closed. Wrong! Wrong! This really hurts all the claims, and in light of everything else, it's probably time to wake up and admit that Bigfoot is fake and just amounts to misidentified animals, hoaxers, liars, wannabe scientists, and frauds. Sorry, that's just the truth. No, that's the truth according to you. Some people have an emotional bond to it, and some believe what they saw, but people are easily fooled and easily led. Perhaps people can let this go and move forward in life.